Hello everyone, today we're looking at a mono-white aggro deck I'm calling Maul Busters. Our game plan with this deck is to go wide, or preferably slap a Maul of the Skyclaves on something and let it rip. Aside from the aggro angle, the deck also has some protection elements built into it to give our Maul bearer some cover. Now, the original build of this deck is not my own. I found it on the subreddit rspikes a few weeks ago. I've made a few slight tweaks to the card numbers, but the list is largely unchanged. I need to pay better attention to who's making these decks so I can properly credit them, but full disclosure, the deck is not mine. It's not a hard deck to pilot. It still has some depth and nuance to it, especially for being aggro. Let's talk about the cards themselves. Look, over here in the 1-drops, we have 4 copies of Giant Killer. This is one of White's best drops, best 1-drops rather, in my opinion. He's great for tapping down blockers or would-be attackers, and he's solid instant speed removal for some of the bigger threats in the format. Just a lot of stuff for a 1-mana thing to be doing. We're also running 4 copies of Selfless Savior, the goodest boy. He's nice protection for our creatures. He's especially good for protecting your Maul bearer, whoever that may be. Also running 4 copies of Stone Coil Serpent. This guy's always on curve. And he's a +1/+1 counter-based creature, which means he's always going to have at least one of those on him. That plays nice with Basri's Lieutenant, who's also in our deck. In addition to being able to play out at any point in your curve, he also has a host of good abilities, including protection from multicolored, which actually comes up every now and then as a useful thing to have. All right, moving on to the 2-drops. We have 4 copies of Luminarch Aspirant. Awesome little cleric here that can beef itself up or something else on every turn. Tends to be a magnet for removal because unanswered, it can and will run away with the game. Just a really cool card for White to have in the format right now, and we are happy to play all 4 copies. We also have 4 copies of Seasoned Hallowblade. This guy's pretty sweet too. He is our very best candidate for the Maul. Can be really hard for the opponent to deal with if we have even 1 card in hand due to his ability. He is vulnerable to exile, bounce, and some other stuff that might reduce his toughness to 0, but otherwise, he's virtually invincible. Alright, we're also running 4 copies of Sejiri Shelter. Kind of a weird inclusion, I know, and I was a little iffy on this one with the initial playlist, but after giving it some testing, I like it. This is our protection spell of choice. It's there to ward off removal. It can also help us sneak a creature in for lethal damage due to the protection from the color of your choice. The ability to play this out as a land gives it a little more utility than something like Alseid of Life's Bounty. It also helps to smooth out your mana drops. You could play the Alseid instead if you want a similar style of protection. There's a good argument to be made for either or. One perk of going Sejiri Shelter also is that the opponent's not going to see it coming, unless, of course, you played one out as a land earlier. All right, moving on to the 3-drops. We're running 4 copies of Maul the Skyclaves. This is the deck's namesake. It transforms one of your creatures into a puffed-up first-striking flyer. It works best on Seasoned Hallowblade, and Basri's Lieutenant is a good candidate as well, though you can jam it on pretty much whatever's available to good effect. Yeah, I've put him on Selfless Savior before. I've won a few games that way. We're also packing 2 copies of Basri Ket. He feels like the right planeswalker for this deck. His abilities line up with our game plan really well, in addition to just being an inexpensive cast at only 3 mana. His plus is really good, doing what the Luminarch Aspirant does, but offering an extra layer of protection there. His minus can be good under the right circumstances when you have an opportunity to go wide and make it count, but it doesn't come up that often, honestly. His ult, on the other hand, his ultimate is very powerful, and more often than not will win the game. Also packing a full playset of Skyclave Apparitions, our Swiss Army Knife of Removal, capable of exiling threats that cost 4 or less, tokens notwithstanding. Great at clearing a path for our attackers, takes care of just about anything the opponent can cough up in the early game. Artifacts, creatures, enchantments, whatever. Looking at you, Maze Mind Tome. And at the top of our curve, we're running a full playset of Basri's Lieutenant. Just a nice top-end creature for this deck. Synergizes really well with all the +1/+1 counter shenanigans that make up our deck. His Vigilance makes him a force to be reckoned with when equipped with all the Skyclaves. And like Stonecoil Serpent, he has that protection from multicolored ability, which every now and then proves to be super useful, allowing you to sneak by a creature or just avoid some kind of wacky removal. And we are also running a single copy main deck of Legion Angel. Just, in my opinion, one of White's dumb reaches. If you're playing a White deck, you might as well have an Angel in your main board, and then 3 in the side. Finally, the mana base, very straightforward stuff. We've got 18 planes, and only 3 copies of Castle Ardenvale. 3 instead of 4, because with so few lands, the threat of getting that opening hand with 2 Castle Ardenvales and no planes is very real. And also the ability doesn't come up that often for us due to the nature of the deck. We're tapping out. We're wanting to end the game before Castle Ardenvale can even really generate meaningful advantage for us. But still, it's mono white. You might as well have a few copies in here. It can be useful in that weird control matchup or for when you just need that extra body in the late game. That's why they're there. And that is the deck, my friends. Let's go play some games. Alright, we get to go first. This is a keep. We can curve Giant Killer into Aspirant into Basri Ket. Right, mono red. Looks like could be Gruul, but doubtful. Opponent probably looking to take out our Aspirant. Wouldn't be sad, but not the end of the world. Ooh, Seasoned Hallowblade. So do we run out Basri or the Hallowblade? Let's run out Basri and just be nice target for the opponent that isn't us.
I will face this trial with courage. I trust in your...
We can hang back though. Make it a little tougher for the opponent to get to him. Bone crushing. And a shock. Sad to see him go. After all the investment we put into him. But Basri live. Ooh, this is nice. Alright, so I think actually this turn we'll go ahead and do the Lieutenant. Put the counter on himself. Put another counter on himself. We just hang back.
Now is the time to strike.
Maul on Basri's Lieutenant is super good because of the Vigilance as well. Yep. Yeah, that's a bit much for you to try to punch through. I get it. I understand. Alright, we get to go first, and this hand looks good. I'll keep it. Not too often we get a mulligan hand with this deck. Let's lead out with a Giant Killer. That way we can curve into a Stonecoil Serpent, into a Basri Ket. Potentially into a Basri's Lieutenant. If we see land 4. Ooh, maybe a change of plan here. Alright, applying a little Early game pressure. Oh boy. Yikes. Okay, so opponent gonna be drawing like crazy here. So we have options. I think we're gonna have to go fast. So with respect to that, we maul onto the giant killer. And just do this. Oh my goodness. Alright, alright. Hopefully we don't see removal. They're running black. What do I like here? I think we do a lieutenant. And we can get 2 counters. And now we can put Maul on some other creature we want. They got to answer this giant killer now. Even if they do, we can move them all over to the lieutenant. Okay, we might see some surprise removal here. Why else would you hold up all that mana? But we can try to make our giant killer indestructible. Alright, not gonna happen. We don't have any outs here, so it dies.
My sand will protect.
What do we like? I think we swing with the lieutenant, at least. Try to set up a good end turn. There's a beast, opponent out of options. That looks like the game. Yep. Alright. One going first. Our hand, not too bad. Not too bad. Double Selfless Savior isn't bad. Want it with Kazandu. Probably Gruul. Go ahead and get that early damage. So we will probably see some removal on this Luminarch. In the form of Primal Might or something silly. Maybe mono green. Ram through. That works too.
Society should be structured so everyone benefits. Now is the time to strike.
Yeah, let's just go for it. We don't have to ult Basri to win. Excuse me. Well, there goes Basri. It's alright. He would have been gone anyway.
The sun has befallen.
Emrays are not vigilant, thankfully. Basri's lieutenant is. We'll have to put the counter on him. That way we can attack through. No, don't. We don't want to sack this. We want to go to combat and swing. Rest of our hand looking pretty shabby, though. We don't want to see the Great Henge. Or that. Yikes. Alright, gonna be hard to fight through that. What we need is a Maul or the Skyclaves. Apparition, not gonna get the Troll King. Can get the Gem Razor. Oh, not the worst draw. Feasting Troll King is vigilant, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be hard to set up a good attack. We're gonna have to eat some damage here. An opponent, of course, has a lot of extra life in the form of all those foods. Yeah, we gotta do this. Come on, Maul of the Skyclaves. Ooh, Scavenging is gonna slow everything down. Beast and Troll King coming in, I assume. It's vigilant. Why not? Yeah, we gotta eat that. Giant Killer. That's actually super dope. Alright. Play this out. Okay, this can be made indestructible. The only thing that's gonna be able to attack through is Basri's Lieutenant, and it's not gonna be able to kill it. But we can tap it down on the next turn and make them get rid of a food. So yeah, we start by taking out this guy right here. Now, if they want to bring him back, they're gonna have to let Basri's Lieutenant through. It's tempting to attack with the Savior too, but that might be a little silly. It is actually. We would only guarantee 4 points of damage. Not worth it. So we'll probably get it anyway, because they want their Troll King back. Next turn we can tap it down, hopefully. Alright, opponent gonna be gobbling through the graveyards. What do they got? They got 2 in my graveyard. That looks to be it. Of course, they have all that food. All that food. Had all that food. Okay. Doing that thing. That's okay. Game shaping up to be close. I guess it depends on what they're holding. Ooh. That kind of sucks. Not the end of the world for us. Okay, we'll just take the 6. Other Basris. Oh, that's awesome, actually. How do we want to do this? I think we want to spread out the counters. We're not going to be able to get in this turn. See what we can do on the next. Hopefully they just whiff. Get themselves a forest. Some fancy forests over there. Oof. That was a good top deck for the opponent. Oh, shoot. I messed up, didn't I? I meant to tap something down. I don't think we can survive now because we really needed to tap down the Troll King. Oops. Alright, let's think about this. We still win. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think so, but we gotta try. So we have to stop the bleeding here. This guy has to go out in front of this guy. This guy in front of this guy. How much damage are we taking now? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's still too much. Alright, I think this is the best way. Okay, they did sack their food. So does that put us in the range? Depends on what they get. I don't know, man. I'm not mathing this out. It's too early in the morning. I've not got my coffee. Gilded Goose probably makes it where I can't kill them. Unless I get the extra blocker from the Skyclave. Yeah, this isn't great. But look at all those triggers. Actually, maybe we do get there. Maybe we do. Oh, that's gonna be close. And we know we gotta tap this guy down, right? Yeah, I think they're gonna... Gilded Goose, I think, is gonna save their butt. I think they're gonna end up with, like, 1 life left after all this is said and done. And I don't think my Vigilant Warriors are gonna be able to sop up all the damage coming my way on the crackback. So, yep, it does look like me not tapping down their creature gonna cost. No, that's too bad. Let's see if we can live through the onslaught here. It's possible, right? Yeah, man. Sometimes it hurts to know that you won the game, if not for your own silly mistake. We're just not going to be able to eat all this damage. Definitely not. Yeah, they're gonna get us. GG. I messed up. I go cry now. Ugh. That's just how it be sometimes. Alright, we're on the play. Super slow hand, but I'll keep it. We have everything we need but the early plays. Looks like early plays. Oh, there we go. I'd say early plays might be in demand here against mono red. Opponent with a spiffy. Card sleeve, Spain? Jeez, I hope so. Do we want to trade card for a Hellhound? Oh, I don't think so, man. Another Hellhound. Okie dokie. Let's do the thing. Oh, hold on. Because we will eat a boatload of damage. Well, we could leave him on defense. I don't know though. I just wanna blow through this guy. Here we go. We might get a surprise blocker. This might be bad. Doesn't matter. I already committed to it. Let's go. Does any mono red deck run shock anymore? That's the question. Question answered. Well, that was an expensive attack. What do I pitch? Skyclave Apparition could be useful. I'll just get rid of the Serpent. Skyclave Apparition, of course, capable of taking out Anax, Torbrand, even Fervent Champions, if you so please. Not leaving their champion behind. Could really use a land here. So, you think they have another shock? I bet they do. I bet they do. So, let's just play defensively this turn. Do we start swinging? You could see an Embercleave if they drop a land, but an Embercleave on either of these creatures would be kind of sad. I'm gonna hang back. And there's Anax. Makes us glad we kept our Skyclave. Sejiri. I think I would rather play that out as land right now. And yes, we do have to Skyclave the Anax. Gotta do it. I think we're comfortable to play defensively. Now we got Legion Angel. Another Fervent Champion, no bigs. Alright. Another land? Do we keep it? Do we hold it? I don't know. First, let's just get the Angel out. We know we want to do that. Yeah, I think we do play the land. We still have Giant Killer to pitch in case they try to off our Hallowblade. I'm comfortable to just stay back for now. We can overtake them with Legion Angels. Oh, okay. They get a 3/3. That's fine. Selfless Savior is a good draw. Swinging with our Ange. Play out another Ange. And yes, we'll do the Savior too. Nice insurance policy. Pass. Gotta admit, not used to having Seasoned Hallowblade back on defense. There's a Torbrand. That's a little yucky. Yeah, we'll do it like this. We'll keep the planes. More fodder for Seasoned Hallowblade. Could be dead to Embercleave. Hopefully that don't happen. They could have another stomp, which they could tap Seasoned Hallowblade down with. Unless we sack the Selfless Savior. Oh, they're just going for it. Okay, this definitely screams Embercleave, doesn't it? So let's do this. Oops. Let's pass to blockers. Hallowblade has first strike, so he can go toe-to-toe with Embercleave before the second round of damage is dealt. Be happy to trade this angel here. Embercleave could go down there, so yeah. This Aquam Hellhound is a weird one. Weird attack. Let's just do this. I'm not gonna think too hard about it. No regrets. It is quite the conundrum if they are planning to Embercleave for the opponent. We have a lot of options. Alright, let's see where this goes. I don't see anything the opponent can do here, but maybe they have a stomp in hand. I mean, the opponent has more information than I do about what's in their hand. But looking at board, I'm not sure what gets in there. Okay. So, yeah, we want to leave the Savior to soak up the 1 point of damage, because if we sack it to save our Angel, for instance, we take 8. Okay, maybe a little early to do that, unless they're just telegraphing they've lost. So I do want to save my Hallowblade. Shock for the win? Please say it ain't so. Ah, got him. Alright. I'll take it. Okay, this works. So we shall keep. If we could draw into another plains or a castle, we could stay on curve, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And we're down. Let's offer this trade. I'm thinking really hard about it. All right. Okay. Looks like we got a life gainer. We got a real life gainer over here. Perfect. Hopefully we can keep the opponent's life total from getting out of hand. No? Hopefully we don't see some kind of enchant removal, honestly, because we'll be in trouble. They try to, yeah, there we go. If they try to develop board, if they don't have a glass casket, never mind. There it is. That's unfortunate. No, we'll let it through. Sejiri would have been useful last turn if we had some untapped lands, but we didn't. So what do we do now? Well, we keep up the press. Yeah, very nice. Selfless savior with a maul. Linden, that's gonna make things a little tough. They haven't drawn their Heliod yet, though. Or maybe they have and they just want to do it next turn. Either way. It's gonna be hard to race them like this. Giant killer. What do we like? How about this? Let's see if we can dodge Heliod. That would be perfect. Because a Maul and a Lieutenant can be really tough for the opponent to deal with, too. Okay, looks like they're going to take out our Savior. Hopefully no Banishing Light. Okay, Aspirant we can deal with. Okay, so Savior. Linden no in giant kill range, but I think we want to do this right now. Start the clock. Lieutenant, of course, vigilant, so you can hang back on defense. There's the Heliod. Things are about to get nutty here. Linden's got to go. Fortunately, we can do something about her. But not till next turn. Hopefully they just dump all those... Yeah, there you go. Do it like that. Dump all your eggs into the Linden basket, please. Alright, how do we do this? I think that... yeah, we'll have to do it like this. Unfortunately, Heliod's going to stay a creature when we off Linden, because there's just so much white devotion down here. Heliod, of course, can be a little problematic now, too. Yeah, this thing can go now. We are in trouble, though. Heliod was kind of the perfect thing for the opponent to have in that turn. So we have to block something. Interesting. I just want the life gain. Yeah, that's gonna make Daxos just a little too big to deal with. Well, he's already there, honestly. Shelter, nah. Not gonna do it. Good game. Go out in a blaze. Not necessarily a blaze of glory. Just a blaze. Blaze of denial. Opponent just toying with us now like a cat with a mouse. And opponent will end the game with more life than they started it with. Alright, GG. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. And thanks for watching. If it's not too much trouble, go ahead and give us a like, and it would help the channel out tremendously. And if you're feeling especially saucy, go ahead and subscribe. That way you'll get notified every time I make a new one of these, which hopefully will be more often than it has been. I really enjoy doing it, and I would very much like to crank these out in a more timely fashion. Anyway, thanks again. Appreciate all the support, and we'll see you next time.